Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to Jeeping.Net. Today we're actually going to be changing the oil in our 6-speed transmission and our transfer case. While some of the location of the bolts and some of the adapters that I'll be using here will be specific to my year and model, the application and steps are the same for all Jeeps. Look up what oils are needed for your application and where your bolts are, but the steps will be the same. The reason why I'm doing this video is there's a few unique things that you need to do both of these, and they're both very similar. So the first thing will be the fluid. The transfer case actually is always ATF4. There's a few other applications you can use. Really all you're doing is you're trying to keep the gears cool in this application and a little bit lubricated. There's not a whole lot there, so the automatic transmission fluid is a good case. For the transmission, for the 6-speed in my case, this is the oil that a lot of people recommend. The dealer's oil is also very good. So this is for the 6-speed transmissions, the Redline MTL, or really any MTL transmission fluids will work. This fluid, for example, would be very bad in one of the 5 speeds. So you really need to make sure you get the proper oils. For the transfer case, you need to have a 10 millimeter Allen wrench. So you can go with this style or you can go with this style. For the transmission, in a lot of cases, the 17 millimeter is for the drain and the 14 millimeter is for the fill tube. For some people with your catalytic converter, it will be in the way, so you'll actually have to use the Allen key type method. I don't have an exhaust on this Jeep right now, so I'm going to be easily able to go with a socket. The other thing you're going to need is a pump to get the fluid into your transmission and transfer case. This is very important, and that's the reason why I'm actually doing these two together today. Is I'll do the transmission first, and then I'll put some ATF into one of these bottles so I can easily pump it in. The other item that you don't necessarily need but is really good to have is a wire brush. Clean up the bolts ahead of time, clean it up really well, and that will really help you get a good positive contact with these Allens and allow the bolts to come out much more smoother. So now let's get to the operation. Okay, now we're underneath the 6-speed here. What we need to do first is we need to loosen the fill tube. The worst case scenario here would be is that we get the transmission drained and then we actually cannot fill it back up because we either strip the intake or we can't get it loose. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen that up. And now we're going to loosen up the drain plug. We haven't ran this oil, so this oil is cool, so it's going to be a little thick probably coming out. But we'll just give it a good force here and get it out. Okay, now that that is drained, we will put the drain plug back in and simply fill the transmission back up until it starts coming at the top. In this case, it should be about 2 quarts, US quarts in my application. Okay, on to the transfer case. The transfer case is a little bit more difficult because the skid is in the way. Very good idea to do this with the skids out of the way. But in my case, my skid is in the way. I have, in my case, removed the Rubicon locker mechanism because I have that out for service right now. It is a little bit in the way of the drain plug, but is doable. So, like with the transmission, loosen the fill plug first. And now let's drain the transfer case. Okay, so now that that is done, we will put the plug back in and start filling up our transfer case until it comes out. In this case, I have the Rubicon bottle, so I have the NP241 OR. So this is going to take about 2 quarts of ATF. If you have the NP231, it's going to take a little bit over 1 quart to fill the transmission. Just make sure you have enough to get this job done. Okay, now that you're done, we just need to dispose of the chemicals correctly. And yeah, thank you very much. I hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, ask below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you. Have a good day.